Try to keep this brief. Just wanted to touch base with what I've been working on a little bit here and there this week. Been making a lot of pie cuts, cutting tubing. And I'll go over that in a sec if you don't know what pie cuts are, but so far I've mocked these headers up and I decided to put some pie cuts on these before putting the V-bands. I'm still waiting on the V-bands actually. This is one of the old ones that's just in place, but by doing this I was able to, and these are just kind of tack welded in place, mostly fusion welded except for this big blob where I blew through like a dumbass. Stainless is real fun to weld, by the way. But anyways, I just put 2 pies on each just to kick it a little bit and give it some angle. And what that allowed me to do was, on this one, when it's facing forward on the driver's side, it now clears this oil filter. It's not a huge deal because I plan on running remote anyways, but I already put oil in it, already pressurized it, oil's in the filter. I'd rather not have to pull that filter off, change it, or drain the oil to change it. So I kind of want to run it with the filter on there first start. Do a little run in, drive it a little bit, then do the initial, kind of like a break-in oil change. On the other one, the one that's forward facing on the pasture, the other thing I wanted to do was make it where these headers aren't just turbo headers. I want to be able to flip them around the normal traditional direction and run them naturally aspirated. Whether I choose to do that or whether I sell them in the future, someone else may not want a turbo car but want a decent set of headers that will work on their vehicle. But I did the same thing, pie cut this, and that allowed this V-band here to clear this part of the block, because that's what the V-band was hitting on before. It was down here, this little where the old clutch rod or whatever Z-bar went. It's this little notch and transmission mount that it was hitting on that way. They clear both directions now, and I have them tacked up. I just taped off the back. Gotta go get aluminum foil so I can stuff into here. I'm gonna block off those tubes because I don't need to purge down those. I just need to purge this section. So I poked some holes in this short runner. I'm gonna allow it to go through that with a light flow of purge going through that. And I'll finish welding these up. Hopefully I can do a decent job. I haven't welded stainless in quite some time and I don't have much practice with it anyways. So hopefully I don't make these look like shit. But hopefully I don't blow through too, because there's a couple areas, yeah, like there where I blew through. Let me get to focus. Maybe. I can't get it to focus because it's reflective. Why in the world? There we go. Yeah, blew through there too. A couple of these areas like this. Yeah, that's a big ass gap. It's gonna be fun to fill. A little bit more prep work would have made the welding easier, but it's really getting tired of sanding. Anyways, I can weld up those headers minus the V-bands, and then I don't know why once you tap the screen it focuses on where you tapped. I don't know how to clear that. Anyways, still waiting on V-bands to be able to weld the ends up, and I can't start the crossover until I have those. But if you don't know what pie cuts are, it's pieces of tubing that are cut kind of like a pie. Do a quick math run through. If you don't know what a circle is, degrees wise, it's 360 degrees, just like a pie, 360 degrees. And when you cut a pie, you normally do sections like that, and in each section is technically so many degrees, so that is essentially a pie cut. So many of these complete a full circle. I cut these at 18 degrees. That means a 9-degree cut on each side on a straight tubing. And all you do is mark each side, cut 9, rotate the tubing 180, cut again, and you have this. And what this allows me to do is, let's see if I can do this one-handed. You get the picture. Allows me to make turns. But not only that, you can fine-tune the turn by turning each one of these, so much. And you can pretty much just kind of curve your way or snake your way through wherever you need to pass through. And you can make different angles. Like these were actually cut different lengths. So this, you see the small section is the bitty compared to, well, maybe this one. Yeah. So you can see they're cut different lengths. And I did that on purpose so I'd have some playroom. Another thing that came in, my oil lines for my remote. Yeah, the guy I normally order this stuff from is pretty good with getting this stuff fast. It's the same guy that uses, well, that logo on eBay. That double S. Which ironically, I don't know if he meant to look kind of like a swastika, especially since it's double S. Yeah. But it's kind of what it seems like to me. Anyways, they make, he does like rebranded China stuff, and they're decent quality. But this stuff's just rubber braided steel reinforced line. I'll use this for my oil lines. I also ordered a bunch of fittings. The fittings have not come in yet. I don't know why he didn't box it all up together, but that showed up today. My fittings will show up either tomorrow, next day, or Saturday, or something like that. But this also came in. That is my remote oil adapter. Now that will thread on where my filter does. And this stupid focus is about to piss me off. That saves a chunk of room. That gives me the in and out, and they just came with straight fittings. You can put 90s on these as well, but it also has an 1/8 MPT oil port to feed the turbo. Or I could run an oil temp gauge in there. Now, from what I can tell, this is a nice piece. It is machined very well. I'm quite satisfied with the cost. See, made in USA. And you can get them with different AN sizes. I got 10 for mine because it matches my heater hose coolant lines, so I can use the same fittings and same hose. But anyways, these run about $100. You can go the cheap route. They make cheap versions of these on eBay for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks, whatever they are. But I've heard nightmare stories of them leaking. And for something like oil, I don't want leaks. I'd rather pay the extra, get something US made, high quality, and has an extra port for a sensor or oil feed. So, there's the info. Check them out. Seems like good shit. My remote oil filter mount, I kind of swayed away from. I was planning on running a Hamburger Performance mount and putting it here. And the only thing that pushed me away from it was how the mount bolts up. I thought I could put riv nuts and bolt it into this. The way it's designed is it's drilled and tapped into the oil filter mount itself, so you'd have to run a bolt through something and into the mount. I can't do that here. So if I got it, I'd have to mount it somewhere up here. Don't really want to do that. So I just ordered a single for now. If I find something later to do a dual that's decent, I'll go that route. I apologize for the shitty video quality because this stupid focus won't go back to autofocus. I keep having to touch the screen every time I move the camera. Anyways, that's it for now, guys. And Maybe next time I'll have those headers finished welding up and I'll be working on my crossover. All right, guys, later.